Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to study about The Old Man and Sea. So let's get started. The Old Man and the Sea is a short novel written by Ernest Hemingway, an American novelist, short story writer, and journalist. Hemingway was born on July 21, 1899, in Oak Park, Illinois, USA, and died on July 2, 1961, in Ketchum, Idaho. He is considered one of the greatest American writers of the 20th century and was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954 for his mastery of the art of narrative and the influence he had on contemporary style. The novel was first published in 1952. It was Hemingway's last major work of fiction published during his lifetime. The genre of the novel is literary fiction, specifically a symbolic and realistic adventure story. It also reflects elements of tragedy and modern heroism. Historical and social context. Hemingway wrote this novel in the post-World War II era, a time when America was rising as a global power, and many writers were exploring themes of individual struggle and meaning in a changing world. Hemingway himself was living in Cuba, where he was inspired by real fishermen and the sea. The novel reflects universal human struggles, loneliness, pride, endurance, and the battle against nature. It also mirrors Hemingway's personal struggles with aging, fading fame, and his desire to prove himself again as a writer. Now let's talk about the summary of this work. The story is set in a small fishing village near Havana, Cuba, and follows Santiago, an aging fisherman who has gone 84 days without catching a fish. He is considered unlucky by other fishermen. A young boy named Manolin has been his loyal apprentice, but his parents force him to fish with more successful boats. Despite this, Manolin cares for Santiago deeply, bringing him food and helping him prepare his boat. Determined to end his unlucky streak, Santiago sails far into the Gulf Stream on the 85th day. He hopes to catch a big fish to prove his strength and skill. Deep at sea, he hooks a massive marlin, far larger than any fish he has ever caught. The marlin is incredibly powerful and pulls Santiago's small boat for 2 days and 2 nights, dragging him further into the ocean. Santiago admires the fish's strength and beauty, seeing it as a noble opponent. As Santiago struggles with the marlin, he reflects on his life, his youth, and his connection with nature. His hands cramp, his back aches, and he grows physically exhausted, but his spirit remains strong. He tells himself repeatedly that a man can be destroyed but not defeated, showing his determination to endure pain and hardship. On the 3rd day, Santiago finally manages to harpoon the marlin, killing it after a long and heroic battle. He ties it to the side of his skiff and begins the journey home, dreaming of the recognition and respect the great fish will bring him. However, Santiago's victory is short-lived. Sharks, attracted by the marlin's blood, begin to attack the carcass. Santiago fights them bravely with his harpoon, an oar, and even a knife, killing several. But more sharks come, and they strip the marlin to nothing but a skeleton. By the time Santiago reaches the shore, the once great marlin has been completely devoured. Exhausted and defeated, Santiago carries his mast back to his shack, symbolically like a cross, and collapses into a deep sleep. The next morning, the other fishermen gather around the marlin's skeleton and marvel at its size, realizing Santiago's incredible feat. Manolin, moved by Santiago's courage, promises to fish with him again despite his parents' orders. Although Santiago lost the marlin to the sharks, he emerges as a symbol of resilience, dignity, and heroism. His struggle against nature and fate gives his life profound meaning, even in apparent defeat. Now we will discuss some major themes of this work. 1. Struggle and endurance. Santiago's fight against the marlin and the sea represents the universal human struggle to achieve goals despite overwhelming odds. 2. Pride and personal triumph. Santiago's pride drives him to sail far out to sea. His victory is personal and spiritual rather than material, showing that true pride comes from perseverance. 3. Man versus nature. Santiago respects the marlin as a worthy opponent. The novel explores the relationship between humans and the natural world, both as adversaries and as interconnected beings. 4. Isolation and companionship. Santiago is alone at sea, reflecting on his solitude, but his bond with Manolin and the creatures of the sea shows the importance of companionship and mutual respect. 5. Heroism in defeat. Santiago ultimately loses the Marlin, but his courage, endurance, and dignity make him a heroic figure. Hemingway shows that true greatness lies in how one faces loss. 6. The cycle of life and death. The novel reflects natural cycles, catching and losing, living and dying, rising and falling. It portrays the inevitability of death, but also the value of struggle within it. Let us now look at the major and minor characters in The Old Man and the Sea. The first major character is Santiago, the old fisherman. He is the protagonist of the novel, humble, skilled, and determined. He represents human endurance and spiritual strength in the face of nature's challenges. The second major character is Manolin, the young boy. He deeply loves and respects Santiago, symbolizing hope, loyalty, and the bond between generations. The third major character is the Marlin. Though a fish, it is presented as a noble and heroic creature, representing nature's power, beauty, and the ultimate test of Santiago's strength and will. The fourth major character is the sharks. They symbolize destructive forces, inevitable challenges that threaten human achievement. They are not evil, but part of the natural order Santiago must face. Minor characters. 1. The other fishermen. They represent society's judgment and skepticism. They doubt Santiago's ability, but later respect his heroic struggle. 2. The tourists. At the end of the novel, they observe the Marlin skeleton without understanding its significance, highlighting the gap between true experience and casual observation. Critical importance. The Old Man and the Sea is one of Hemingway's most famous and celebrated works. It played a major role in earning him the Nobel Prize in Literature. The novel is admired for its simple yet powerful language, symbolic depth, and universal themes. It represents Hemingway's return to his best writing after years of struggle and fading reputation. Santiago's battle mirrors Hemingway's own artistic fight to prove his worth once again. The novel's themes of courage, endurance, and dignity have made it a timeless classic, studied in schools and universities around the world. So, in conclusion, The Old Man and the Sea is not just a story about fishing, it is a profound meditation on human strength, resilience, and the meaning of struggle. Santiago's journey reflects the universal battle between ambition and limitation, hope and despair, victory and loss. Through simple language and deep symbolism, Hemingway created a timeless masterpiece that continues to inspire readers across generations. Santiago may not have returned with the fish, but he returned with something far greater, unbroken spirit and eternal dignity. So that was our today's topic. If you have any questions related to it, you can ask in the comment box. Thanks for watching.